Alrighty, guys and gals, it's Big E from the King's Room. I put out a little thing on the community poll yesterday. My I had a problem, I think, with my system board, and it ended up hard crashing my main hard drive. And I had a spare drive. It's a lot smaller, but I was able to reinstall Windows. Well, before I go there, I messed with this 6 or 7 hours with that first drive because I didn't know it was the system board. I mean, I'm still not 100%, but I'm 95% sure, certain. Anyway, I'd finally given up on it. I tried so many different things. All of the recovery options I could think of. I mean, there's basically, you have a handful that you can do. I even had my original Windows 10 CD-ROM, which I had to hook up with a portable CD-ROM that plugs into USB. And I would get to different portions of recovery and thought, okay, I'm going to be okay here. And then it would lock up, and it kept doing that. So to make a longer story a little bit shorter, I finally swapped back to my old motherboard, my BioStar BM 450, something like that. Tried the drive, same thing. So it's like, okay, so the drive is gone. I mean, I still have it, obviously, but I just put my old drive in it, and fine. I was able to install a fresh copy of Windows on it. Now, so right now, I've just been rebuilding the system, the desktop, all of my applications, OBS Studio right here. I had to go back in. I mean, I had to reinstall it. I had to reinstall the rendering software, which is my Power Director. I've not used it yet. And I've got, I actually haven't even checked this, I don't think. It's been a complete pain in the ass, as you can imagine. Let me just check something here. I'm sorry. Okay. So I've got a lot of work to do still. Videos are coming out today, but I don't think I may have one scheduled for tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I mean, I could find out, but there may be a day, there may be 2 days. I don't think 2 days with no videos on the channel. So this is the offender. It's this motherboard. See that? I don't recommend this motherboard. So there's another story to this motherboard. Earlier, it was either late last year or earlier this year, I upgraded my BioStar board because the BioStar is only capable of 64 gigs of RAM, which is okay, but I'd rather have 128, right? It just makes everything easier. The first board I had a similar problem. It was freezing my system up. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to be compatible with my processor, my AMD Ryzen 9 3800, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just this board. Maybe it's the RAM, but I've tried two different types of RAM within, what's compatible with this board. Obviously, you want to do that, but the first board I had, it was doing the same thing, and I would have, if your system freezes like that, you have to hard kill it. You have to power it off, hold the power button down, and that's terrible for hard drives. Now, it's a lot better these days with the newer technology drives, the NAND drives, the SSD drives, things like that, but back in the day, the disk drives with a needle and arm that moves around, it would crush those things. I mean, it just wasn't a good idea. You could have a bad sector, and if that happened to be in the wrong place, it would keep your system from booting up. So anyway, I was happy to do that, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So I sent that board back. Recently, I got it again because it's supposed to be perfect for my processor. It's like it's a good tier motherboard for my particular processor. So I was like, maybe I just got a bad one, right? So that new board has been in there for a month, maybe a month and a half. I think I talked about it on the channel, how it was an easy swap and didn't have any problems with it. And I didn't have any issues with it. I thought, great. Like I had the 128 gigs of RAM upgraded in it. Everything was running smoothly. And then yesterday I was recording an episode of Red Dead. Now, I had gone into OBS. Well, I was seeing how far I could push just my OBS for a slightly higher bit rate. So I increased it by 5,000. Hit record. I was just testing, in Red Dead Redemption, and I got encoding overload error. So that's a sign that your settings are way too high. So it's like, okay. So I moved it back down. And then, so my original setting, I just wanted to test it again to make sure there was nothing wonky. And Red Dead crashed. Like it just disappeared from the screen. So I was like, oh, that's weird. Control-Shift-Escape, open up my task manager. It wasn't even listed. So it had literally shut down. So I went back to OBS to close that, and the system froze. Just froze up on me. Like, okay. I had to hard power it. When I started it back up, NTOS kernel, blue screen of death. Not NT. It's whatever the kernel, one of the kernel messages. I was like, are you kidding me, man? And that's when this 7-8 hours of pain began. So I'm sending this board back again. And I'm just going to go with my old board for right now and go back to 64 gigs of RAM, which I guess is fine. So here's the problem. With that other drive, I can't even mount it. Like I've got my old drive in here, and you can put a secondary drive in your system, right? And you can look at it just like you would a USB drive or whatever. The system does not see it. And I can't do anything in Disk Manager. That's usually where you would do stuff like that. You have to initialize the disk, blah, blah, blah. It's just not there. So the problem with that is that was my main drive. Now, fortunately, all of my, well, I'll say most of my stuff for the channel, all of my intros, there's two big folders with all this stuff in it. That was on my spare drive because I knew better. There's a couple of things on that drive that I would like to have, but it's not important. What's important to me on that main drive are my saved game files. I save them on the C drive because that's where I install my programs, is on the C drive. It's just a little bit quicker. It's more efficient to run the program. And I was not using any cloud for 3 games: City Skylines 2, Red Dead Redemption, Hogwarts Legacy. All the save game files are on that drive that cannot even be seen. So that means, I'm going to hold on to this drive and I'm going to try some different things on it. Because if I could get those files off, I can pull them onto my new drive here, or, this older drive, and we're back in business. But for right now, I don't know how many hours I have in Red Dead or Hogwarts Legacy. I would assume 40 to 60, maybe more than that. I would have to play off camera to try to get where I thought we were and then continue the Let's Play. And I got to be honest, I might do it, but it's a lot of time, right? I've got a lot of stuff going on, so it sucks. But for right now, those Let's Plays are stopped because I would just have to start them over, and that just wouldn't feel good. I'm really, really pissed about Red Dead because that game, I'm into it, like really deep into the story, and I don't know how much more is left of it, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. I hate that saying, but it's true. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is start one or two new Let's Plays, and I'm probably going to put a poll on the channel. I've got some stuff in mind. I've got games in my Steam library that I've either purchased over the last 3 years as a YouTuber wanting to play them, haven't installed them yet. 5 or 6 of them are gifted games that I've not played. So I'll put a poll or two up on the channel, because if I put a poll up, I think they limit it. I can only add 5 like multiple choice things. So I might put between 2 new Let's Plays, I'll put 5 games, and I will let you guys and gals vote on what you might want to see. Yeah. So I just wanted to make this to let you know what was going on. Yeah, it sucks, but it's the way it is. Now, so City Skylines 2, I've got 10 episodes. I got pretty far ahead in City Skylines 2 because I love City Skylines. It's really chill. Is this too loud? Maybe. What's interesting about City Skylines 2 is I already lost a save point and I had to redo the city. We didn't get very far, but I did get pretty far in this second one, but it's gone. So here's what I'm doing from now on. I've learned my damn lesson. If there's an option to save to the cloud, I'm going to do it. I don't like doing that, but I cannot have this problem anymore. I mean, if I delete it on my own, that's just my stupidity, right? And I've done that many times. But if there's no issues, at least I can't delete a save point. It's just on a server where I can have access to it. So I'm going to enable that in any games that allow me to do it. And I'm also thinking about maybe I can script some kind of routine or something, or I can direct my save points, if possible in the game, to go to the D drive, right? To go to my secondary hard drive, which isn't actively being affected by the sublayer of the operating system or applications, So I'm going to do that. Warcraft, obviously, it saves to their server, so that's not a big deal. I've already installed Classic and Cataclysm again. And I'm going to try to be doing some recording today. Now, having to reinstall OBS, all of my scenes are gone. I just recreated this one really quick. It's not that big of a deal, but there's a lot of fine tuning I had. Like the mic might sound different right now. I tried to remember the filters that I had on this mic, and I'm hoping it sounds okay. Let me know. You guys could tell if it sounds a lot different, if it's brighter or if it's darker, if it's too bassy, if it's too top end. I did a quick listen, added the filters that I remembered I had: noise gate, compression, limiter, gain. I think that's it. Maybe one other thing to try to tweak it to make it sound good. But it's very important for me, the quality, how I sound, and the video quality is important. So yeah. So I'll have to recreate all the scenes. Pretty much all day today, I'm going to try to be getting everything back, figuring out maybe what new games we can play, get this motherboard sent back. I mean, I have to wait for a shipping label for them because I've had the board for, like I said, about a month or so. I have until August 15th to send it back. So they're sending me a label, and it's supposed to come in a couple of days. So as soon as it comes, I'll send it back and maybe just hold off on upgrades for right now. I'm also going to incorporate a backup, or I'm going to clone this drive. I had a restore point on that C drive, and it was just from literally last week. Whenever I make a major change or something, or if I'm just remembering to do it, I'll create a system restore point. So if you take a driver update or Microsoft update, whatever it is, and it crashes your system, blah, 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 you can go into F8, whatever your recovery option key command is, sometimes in your BIOS, and you can tell the system, go back to this date, get rid of, so it doesn't change your files, anything like that. It just changes whatever core changed, like drivers and things like that. And it can work. It doesn't always work. In my case, it did not work. Like I got to the restore point and it started doing it, and the system froze, which just messed everything up even further. So I think that drive is actually trashed now, which is unfortunate. So anyway, I haven't been up for that long. I was up. This happened about 11:30 a.m. yesterday. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning, and finally just got sick of messing with everything. I got the OS installed in the last couple hours, in the wee hours of the morning. Got a little sleep. Now I'm back up, and a lot to do here. So, I just wanted to let you know I am sorry. We didn't have a lot of people following Hogwarts, but we had some. That's all that matters to me. People were watching and enjoying. Same thing with Red Dead. I'm personally crushed about that. That would be a lot of time for me to go back and try to catch up. So, yeah, one thing I'm going to be doing today is figuring out maybe a weekly backup, just like the old days. I used to be, during the days of Windows NT, I was in charge of backups, the actually tape backups for my company. It's been a long time since I've done anything like that, but certain versions of Windows have backup options and things in them. But I'm thinking about just cloning, like getting my system, the C drive. I'm not talking about my D drive where all the other stuff is, but just my C drive with everything installed, everything configured where I need it to be, recording settings, rendering settings, blah, 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 cloning the disk, setting it aside, and just labeling it to what it is. But in the meantime, I also might try to purchase, I don't know, some gigantic drive, maybe a terabyte, that I can do regular scheduled backups to try to not have this happen again. But anyway, we're just about 20 minutes. That's really what I wanted to say, just let you know what was going on. And you probably, if you've had desktop computers, you've probably been through this as well. And, if I didn't have a YouTube channel and everything, this still would have sucked ass, right? But because I have the YouTube channel, it's even more impactful. And it's, it just sucks to have problems like this with the hard drive and the system not booting. It's so bad. So, yeah, so look for a poll or two coming out. It'll be in the community tab. We'll pick some new games, and I'll try to get in a better headspace, and we'll just continue. Obviously, the World of Warcraft stuff is still going to continue. City Skylines will be back. Still the first season, but it's the third round. I'd gotten pretty far in that too. So, but all of the stuff that I had recorded is still saved because I saved that to a D drive, a second drive. That's just the volume label. So that's still going to be uploaded. So, and like I said, I think there's 10, maybe 11 episodes of that. I'll just let those play, and then what I might do off camera is try to get the city close. It wouldn't take me that long to do it, and then maybe try to seamlessly tie it in, because I have footage and everything. Like, I know what it looks like. I can just kind of build it out the same and then just continue the series. But Red Dead and Hogwarts Legacy, I can't do that. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm going to try some things on that drive to see if I can get the save points. And if I do, we'll continue them. If not, I guess I have to let them go, which sucks because I really like both of those games. There are some games I play on the channel and something happens. And yeah, I don't like ending a Let's Play, but like if I'm not that into it personally, it's not that big of a deal. I might fake like, oh no, but I really like both of these games. They're different than anything I've ever played before. the stories are interesting, and if I'm having fun with it, I think it makes a difference. Even though neither one of them have like a massive following, but still, I do apologize. It's just out of my hands. It really was. So yeah, the Tough Gaming X560 Plus by Asus, I don't recommend it. I mean, unless I'm really unlucky, and I've gotten unlucky twice. What actually occurred to me is I'm wondering, would it be like, would I have gotten the same board? You know, like, I don't know. I think if you send something back, I think it goes under refurbished, right? They make sure everything's fine, and then they mark it as refurbished if you buy it on Amazon or whatever. But I bought a brand new one both times. All right, that's it for me. I got a lot of stuff to do. I just wanted to touch base, let you know what's going on. You guys and gals take care, and I'll see you in a future episode of something. Peace.